Welcome. I'm your host, Tim Starks, and with me is Eileen Rayton, a parent education expert who has worked in the field for over 20 years. Eileen?
Thank you. In this series, we'll look at some of the primary issues parents face in raising their children. Parenting is a skill, but like all skills, it is acquired and can be developed and improved. The children on our program are 5-year-olds, but as we know, many ideas that apply to young children are applicable to children of any age. The subject of today's program is teaching children responsibility. By allowing children to assume responsibility, they learn to become organized, to set goals, and to enhance their feelings of self-esteem.
Thank you, Eileen. Now let's take a look at some scenes in which parents make decisions that will affect their child's ability and desire to take responsibility. Now think about what you would do if you were in these situations.
What are you doing, Mommy?
I'm cleaning up, Rena.
Can I help you?
That's okay. I can do it myself. Oh, Rena, what are you doing?
I want to help.
Well, this isn't helpful. Why don't you go make your bed? Rena, this is no way to make a bed. Look at this mess.
What's the matter?
I should have just done it myself.
Rena wanted to help her mother with the chores, and Arazu got frustrated with the results. Take a moment to consider the following questions. What message did Arazu's reaction send to her daughter? What would you have done in this same situation? Okay, what message did Arazu's reaction send to her daughter? Yes.
Well, obviously a negative one. Rena was just trying to help, but her mother was telling her that her efforts were not appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Whenever a child wants to help, that desire should be encouraged, not discouraged.
Arazu?
Look, there are certain things that I would rather do myself. Now, I don't really like doing chores, and with Rena getting in my way, they take twice as long.
I agree with Arazu. We could all see that Rena only made the apartment messier.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I mean, isn't it more important to make your child feel important than to get your chores done faster?
Look, there are several ways that I make Rena feel important. But when it comes to doing chores, I just want to get them over with.
Yes. But that's not, I mean, what's the deal about your chores? I mean, that's the more important thing?
Eileen, any thoughts on this?
Well, the first thing to remember is that young children really want to be helpful. So when you include them in your household chores, they have a sense of pride about contributing to the family.
Right.
This is all fine in theory, but the bed still isn't made.
Right.
Well, why should the mother have to remake the bed, though?
What if guests come over?
Who cares? I mean, isn't it more important to make Rena feel like she did a good job?
Does anybody agree with that?
I'd like to respond to that.
Go ahead, Eileen.
If your child doesn't accomplish the task perfectly, leave it alone if possible. Obviously, you have to clean up spilled garbage, but if it's just a lumpy bed, leave it as it is and say, thank you very much for helping. This demonstrates to the child that her effort is appreciated and will encourage her to want to do more.
I never really considered that. But I still think it's important for Rena to learn how to do things right. How do I do that without making her feel inadequate?
Did you ever show Rena how to make a bed?
Of course.
Uh-oh.
But did you really take the time to show her how to do it right?
I thought so.
Excuse me. She's only 5. I mean, no matter how many times you show her how to do it, she's never going to be able to do it as well as you do.
That's no reason not to try.
Two good points have been raised here. First of all, whenever parents assign a task, they must demonstrate the skill. So whether it's making the bed or taking out the trash, the child needs to see how it's done because children learn by example. Secondly, you have to consider the child's age and stage of development. Your child may not have the physical or conceptual ability to carry out the task you're asking of her.
Okay, right. But Eileen, do you think Rena is too young to make the bed? I mean, is there other chores that she could do?
No, she's not necessarily too young, but you ask a very good question. Again, we need to find tasks that match the child's developmental stage. So you can start with simple chores such as cleaning crumbs off the table and then work your way up into more challenging tasks. But we do need to remember that we don't want to overload children with too many chores or they could resent it.
I still think you have to demand excellence from your child. I mean, if you don't set high standards, they're never going to make it.
Well, I agree that children do respond to parental expectations, and that if we don't expect our children to assume responsibility, then they won't. But I think the question is when and how children learn these new skills, and they learn them by practicing when they're young.
I think whether or not you have the child remake the bed, it's just more important that they actually finish the chore. I mean, I know I have a sense of satisfaction when I finish a task. I'm sure a child feels the same way.
Well, that's true. Children do derive a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment when they finish a job.
I think we've lost sight of this whole the most important point to this whole discussion here. First of all, Razu here, she never complimented Reina. And she's been criticizing her, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I have to agree. I don't think that's good for her self-esteem.
I have to take issue with that. I mean, if you praise sloppy work, you're going to get sloppy results.
I don't think it's the result that matters here. It's the effort that counts.
Yes.
Eileen, your interpretation?
Yes. No matter how Rena makes the bed, she should be praised for her effort. Your primary concern is teaching her responsibility and not winning awards for cleanliness.
I'm learning a lot from this.
Let's review what we've talked about. Which of the following choices would be appropriate for Arazu? A. Arazu could praise Rena for her effort and then leave the bed as it is. B. Arazu could calmly explain to Rena that she didn't make the bed correctly and then redo it herself. C. Arazu could praise Rena's effort and then show her how to make the bed at a later time. A and C are appropriate choices for Arazu. You may have additional good ideas as well. Letter B is not the best choice for Arazu. When she criticizes Rena's effort, Rena may feel inadequate and will not develop a sense of pride associated with taking responsibility, and she may feel discouraged from helping in the future. Let's summarize some of the key points we've discussed so far. Young children like to be helpful. Taking part in chores makes them feel grown up and important to the family. Consider your child's age, level of development, and physical and mental capacities when you give him a task. When you assign a task to your child, demonstrate the necessary skill, guide her through it, and then supervise as she does it herself. Children learn best by example. Always praise your child's effort and help him take pride in himself and what he can accomplish. Even if the task is not completed, acknowledge what the child has done. Arazu, would you like to have another opportunity to teach Rena about taking responsibility?
Absolutely.
What are you doing, Mommy?
I'm cleaning up, Rena.
I'll help.
Oops. We better clean this up.
Thank you for helping me, Rena. Would you like to do another chore?
Okay.
Great. Why don't you go make your bed, and I'll come see you in a few minutes. Rena, I can see you worked hard at making your bed.
I did it myself.
I know you did. You're so responsible.
How did you feel about that, Arazu?
I felt much better, and I think that Rena was proud of herself for helping me, and I had more realistic expectations of what she could do.
Good work, Arazu. Now let's watch another scene between parents and their child. And remember to ask yourself, what would you do in this situation?
Sam. Hey, sleepyhead, wake up. Come on. Come on. I don't want to wake up either sometimes, but I got to. Come on. Samantha, you got to get up. You got to go to school. Now, come on. If you don't get up, you're not going to play with Tina after school. Do you understand? Honey.
Come on, Samantha, eat breakfast. I'm in no mood for your games. Samantha, did you hear me?
I'm not hungry.
I don't care. If you don't eat your breakfast, brush your teeth and put your shoes on in 5 minutes, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Samantha refused to get ready for school, and her parents became increasingly frustrated. Think about the following questions. How did Larry and Jennifer communicate to Samantha what they wanted her to do? What would you have done in this same situation? Okay, did Larry and Jennifer effectively communicate to Samantha what they expected of her? Yes.
Yeah, hi. Definitely not. They nagged and threatened her.
Getting ready for school in the morning is a real routine. I don't think that Larry and Jennifer have an organized method yet.
Well, listen, usually our Samantha's a very good girl. So there's no need for a routine in our house. There's just no need for it.
That's true. What you just saw does not happen every morning.
I still think she needs some sense of regularity and routine. Perhaps you should tell her what she needs to do every morning.
Isn't that a little ridiculous? I mean, she's only 5 years old. I mean, if she doesn't want to get up, I don't think a routine's going to help.
I totally disagree with that.
Eileen, would you like to step in?
I think having a routine is an excellent idea. This provides your daughter with a sense of security because she knows what's expected of her.
Now, what if Larry and Jennifer got Samantha an alarm clock?
Yeah, that's an excellent idea also. An alarm clock could make Samantha feel very grown up because her parents have one and use that to get up. And also, she would probably take pride in being able to get herself up in the morning by herself. Mm-hmm. And of course, you'll have to show her how to use it.
Demonstrate the task. Yeah. I learned that one earlier.
Well, that's exactly right. You have to remember to praise her effort when she does get herself up in the morning. And also, you need to go over her routines with her, and so she'll know how to get her things ready for school. So when she wakes up in the morning, she'll know exactly what she has to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a question?
How do you expect a 5-year-old to remember all that?
I think she'd get used to it after a few days.
Actually, what I do with my son is I put a list of chores on his door every morning, and since he can't read, I put pictures next to him so he knows what it says. And then when every morning he does the chores, and when he's done, he marks them off, and I tell him good job, and he's happy about what he did, and then I don't have to sit here and nag all morning for him to do his chores.
Yeah. Is that a good idea? Yeah. Eileen?
I like that idea. Your son is learning good habits, and he's learning to be responsible for himself.
Very good idea.
How about giving your kid a few dollars each week if they do other chores?
You know, Eileen, is monetary rewards a good idea to give a child when he finishes his or her chores?
Well, certain types of rewards could be effective. I think hugging your child and expressing your appreciation is one way. When family chores are completed, the family could go out to the movies or to a picnic. Some parents will give their children monetary rewards if they have done some extraordinary job that's not included in their daily routine. But we need to be very careful about monetary rewards because they can send the wrong message. You don't want your child to feel that all good deeds deserve monetary compensation, or that if there's no pay, the job's not worth doing, and we certainly wouldn't pay anybody to get up in the morning.
There you go.
I have another question. I noticed that Larry told Samantha that he didn't like to get up in the morning either. I don't think that's a really good message to be sending to a child.
Yeah, but that's the truth. I mean, what am I supposed to do, lie to her?
No, you don't lie to her.
Okay, look, you know, there's a lot of things that I do in my life that I don't want to do, but I have to do because I have certain obligations. I think that's very important to tell a child that the message to come across that way.
Well, no, that's true. That is true. But I think if you show Sam that you don't want to do certain jobs that are expected of you, she might follow your lead and not want to do them either, right?
That's exactly what I mean.
See?
Well, Eileen, there's things that I do that I don't want to do, but I still have to do them. What do you say?
Well, I think complaining about responsibilities sends a negative message to children about becoming grown up.
I guess I never looked at it that way.
We've discussed how to encourage Sam to become more responsible, but what about if she refuses to do what her parents ask?
Well, I think then there have to be consequences.
Well, wait, we did that. I mean, I told her that if she didn't finish eating her breakfast, she was going to be in a lot of trouble.
That's a vague threat. I mean, how do you follow through with
Well,
that?
I told her that if she didn't shape up, that she wouldn't be able to play after school with her little friends.
Yeah.
Right, but did you follow through?
Did you?
No.
No.
That's what I thought.
Isn't it wrong to punish a child that way? I mean, I think there's an easy solution to that problem. I mean, when a child decides he refuses to take responsibility, then there must be appropriate consequences.
The point is not to make it feel like punishment. Even when you're disciplining your child, it's important to treat her with dignity and with respect. Threatening and yelling and nagging do not teach responsibility, and we want to educate our children, not punish them.
Eileen, what would be the appropriate... One last question. What would be the appropriate consequence?
Okay. Playing after school with friends is not really related to the situation. However, you can require that she prepares her things for the next day before she can go out to play.
That's a good one.
Right. Good discussion. Now let's review.
Which of the following choices would be appropriate for Jennifer and Larry? A. Jennifer and Larry could give Samantha an alarm clock and plan her daily routine with her ahead of time. B. Jennifer and Larry could use appropriate consequences when Samantha refuses to accept responsibility. C. Jennifer and Larry could offer Samantha a small monetary award as an incentive to do her chores. A and B are appropriate choices for Larry and Jennifer. You may have additional good ideas as well. Letter C is not the best choice for Larry and Jennifer. Offering Samantha a monetary reward tells her that a job without pay is not worth doing. Let's summarize some of the key points we've discussed so far. Plan ahead with your children so they know what their daily routines and responsibilities are. Apply appropriate consequences and follow through when your child does not obey. Make sure the intention is to teach your children about responsibility, not to punish them. When you bribe or threaten your child, the child works for the bribe or out of fear and doesn't learn anything about responsibility. Larry and Jennifer, would you like to have another opportunity to teach Samantha about taking responsibility?
Definitely.
Me too.
Hey, did the alarm clock wake you up?
I set it myself.
I know you did. That was very responsible of you.
Yes, and you did a really good job getting dressed this morning,
After I brush my teeth, I'll be ready for school.
Good. You know, we're both very proud of you.
I can't believe how mature you are.
So, Jennifer and Larry, how did that feel?
Felt great. Made a world of difference being able to plan ahead like that. She got to school on time. She felt great about herself. What else can we ask for?
I'm sure it won't go that smoothly every morning, but at least we know what to do now when she doesn't want to act responsibly.
Right. Well, we're all here to learn. Eileen, any final thoughts?
Oh, yes. Doing chores and assuming responsibility not only contributes to the daily needs of your household, but they instill in your children a sense of responsibility that is important to their self-esteem. A child wants to be helpful and feel needed by the family. Now let's summarize some of the key points of our discussion. Number 1, children like to help. Number 2, assign appropriate tasks for your child's age and ability. Number 3, demonstrate the skill. Number 4, praise effort. Number 5, plan ahead. Number 6, make chores a family activity. Number 7, use appropriate consequences. Number 8, avoid using bribes or threats. These 8 points can help you teach your children to be responsible. An excellent way to implement your new skills in teaching responsibility is to keep a daily journal. Write down how you teach your child to be helpful at home and what responsibilities your child has. Write down what you do to encourage your child to help.
Thanks, Eileen. We hope that watching this program will help you in your relationship with your own child. And we look forward to working with you again on our next episode of The Now and Future Parent.